Hi, friends, it's Deb, and this week on the Peaceful Path, our focus is on awareness of thoughts and emotions. So, presence doesn't mean pushing thoughts or feelings away, it means noticing them kindly without judgment. Just as clouds move across the sky, our inner weather shifts and changes. So often we get caught in identifying with every thought or feeling that arises, right? Believing that we are our worry or our anger or our joy. But awareness teaches us that we are not the clouds, we are the sky, right? Wide, steady, open, and able to hold it all. So this week's mini practices are simple ways to remember this, and this is along with our daily meditations that I'm preparing for you as we go each morning, or if you're watching the video as well, if you're on the Peaceful Path membership. So here's just some practices that you can do. Well, you can pause and name the thought you're having. Now, if you've been with me for Vipassana practice, that's what we do. It's a noting practice or a labeling practice. And here you can name it. Well, I always say you can always use thinking as kind of a more general term to use. But you can also use planning or remembering. And then what you do is then you return to presence. Another practice that you could do is just doing an emotional check-in. Say, what am I feeling right now? And then you want to notice where you're feeling it in the body, where it's showing up, if you will, in the body. Maybe sometimes it's in your chest or your jaw, for instance, anything like that. What am I feeling now and where am I feeling it in my body? The other thing you could do is with 3 breaths, you can softly name each feeling. Calm, tired, hopeful, something like that. You can also try a sky visualization, right? And I use this a lot, when I'm teaching mindfulness is, the thoughts and feelings are like clouds drifting across the sky in your awareness. And something else you can do is you can whisper gently to yourself, this too is welcome in presence. A lot of times you hear me say like, well, right now it's like this. Well, this too is welcome into the present moment. So even when we say right now it's like this, we're talking about the present moment in that sense. So these practices help us shift from being carried away by our thoughts and emotions to being present with them. And we can notice without judgment and remember that our true presence is vast, steady, and always here. So here's something I want you to think about as you reflect. What thought or emotion showed up most often this week? Okay. So that's something to think about for this week. And then how did it feel to observe it without judgment? Give yourself that opportunity to observe it without judgment. And then in what moments did you remember that you were larger than your thoughts or feelings? Remembering we are the sky, right? So see if you can, observe this as you go about your week. And remember, it's what thought or emotion is showing up most often. And then how did it feel to observe it, right? Without having that judgment that creeps in. And when did you remember that you were larger than those thoughts and feelings? So I want you to think about that. I want you to work with that this week. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for being here and continue on the peaceful path. Namaste.